Another one of our swing analysis tools that are part of the Swing Toolkit is the Auto-Symmetry indicator. And you can see here this little equal sign showing symmetry and the little plus showing add. This is the auto-symmetry here. Now what this does is it simply looks at the previous swing and then projects its percentage downward. Now what that means is, for example, looking at this upward swing here and then going down to the next low and then projecting that 1-to-1 is to this level right here. That's 100% extension of that low there. Now for the bullish case, this downward move here and then projected from this high downward move here is, again, it's a potential support level. And again, it's a 1-to-1 move here. Now that's customizable. You can adjust that. If you don't want it to be 100% of the move, you can adjust it to 61.8%, for example. So to do that, I can click on this icon here to bring us into our indicators dialog box. Click on our symmetry alerts here, and I'm going to adjust this temporarily to 61.8 to adjust. So now it's, instead of it being 1-to-1, it is looking at this move here, projecting it to 61.8. And you can see here we're now just now coming down to this level, and we're hitting that 61.8% line. Now the appearance of these levels is based off of a customizable template. So you can go in and you can set up the way that you want these levels to appear. If you look at our video for our price alert horizontal line, you can see exactly the features of these lines, because that's what it's outputting. It's automatically outputting one of our price alert lines at those levels. And so if I were to go into, for example, one of these and change its appearance, if you wanted different colors or whatever, and then go down here and save it as a particular template name, I could then go into this indicator and have its appearance match whatever I just said. So if I said, new default or whatever I set it up here, it would adjust the appearance as far as that template name goes. As you can see here, this additional label that appears here is customizable. You can change that to the auto-symmetry support or resistance. Add the percentage and the percentage to the line itself, and that's exactly what this is here. If you know that you're outputting the 61.8 and you want to simplify its output, you can just hide that percentage right there. Again, the arrows themselves, if you know what these levels are, you can hide those arrows there. If you find that the default appearance of these lines is just too large, or you don't like the colors, you can simplify them to be these nice thin lines like that. Going down the list here, these background shading, just to kind of highlight what it is actually analyzing here. You can get rid of that shading there. The opacity of these of the background color. Now this is a feature that's not very common, but if you want to look back multiple swings, for example, if I hit 2 there, what that's doing is it's not from projecting this level down right here, it's actually going back 1-2 swings, and it's looking at that swing over there and projecting it down. Or from this looking upwards here, it's going back 1, back 2, and it's looking at this swing back here and projecting 61.8% of that swing back there. Now that's not a common thing that you would do, but it is, I guess, highlighted as such, as this is not common functionality, but it is a feature that is there. Now this indicator can be used within the market analyzer, and this is a particular feature if you would like it to output its output in ticks. I'm going to show off that feature right now. So if I were to go here and bring up a new market analyzer window here, I'm going to right click, go to templates, load. Now they're automatically under the Swing Toolkit here. There's a symmetry template here. I'm going to go ahead and load that, and so it's loaded, but now I need some indicators. Some symbols, some instruments. So I'm going to go here, and I can just simply add some here, or if you've already created an instrument list, you can go to that, hit select all, and it'll add some. Raise this up here and adjust my windows. I don't know why it's not letting me adjust that. We'll let this load a moment. Now that it's loaded, we see these various output here. Our original chart was the Euro USD, so we're looking at the Euro USD column. Now if you look at the top here, you see the different time frames. So these two are the support and resistance for the 15-minute, support and resistance for the 60-minute, support and resistance for the 240. In our original example up here, we see that this is the 240-minute on the Euro USD. So what that's showing us is how far away our current one-to-one support level is. So how far current price is from this support level, or which is this right here, the number of ticks or the number of pips in this example, since it's a currency. Now the resistance level, again, how far away we are there. Now in this particular example, we're pretty far away, but we see here, we see this little -1 here, and you see it is green. The Aussie dollar is actually very close to its support level. So I can click on that, and if we look at current price here, now I clicked on that, and our instruments was linked to our chart, so when I clicked on that row, it automatically loaded the Aussie dollar there. Now it only loads that instrument, it doesn't change the time frame. So I have to keep that in mind, and just realize that it will only go to the instrument and not the time frame. So make sure you're looking at the same context here. So as you may have heard, it hit our one-to-one symmetry line there, which is, you see here, this was the last projected move down from this swing here, projected down to this line. It eventually came down and hit our one-to-one level there. The alert fired, and this is turned gray, kind of highlighting the fact that this has triggered here. So this just kind of shows you how close you are to that symmetry level. And now it's a bunch of information here, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. It will change colors here once it's within a certain threshold of how close it is to your symmetry level. Now this particular template is set up for 1-to-1, so that implies a 100% move, a 1-to-1 move, symmetrical move of the last swing. Now going back to what we were talking about before with that one parameter within the tools itself that outputs the amount of ticks distance there is, if I go back into, well actually in this case I'll go into my columns, and I'm going to modify, in this case we're looking at the 240 support level, 240 support level, and I'm going to uncheck this. Instead of outputting the amount of ticks, or in this case pips, amount of pips away current prices from that level, it will output the formatted to that particular instrument. It is this far away if you were to just do a subtraction of the amount of pips. And so this output may not be quite as obvious, especially if you're looking at currencies and futures and maybe stocks. So you have different things within this list. This may not be as obvious to you as far as like how close or far a particular line is. So if you output it in ticks, hit OK again, it's a pretty definitive number that's a little bit easier to read and compare to each other. Now I hope that helps explain the usefulness and the power of this Auto-Symmetry tool. If you have any questions, please email me at daniel@updown.com. That's daniel@uppdnn.com. Best success in your trading.